3 years ago, in order to compete with what was perceived to be the ever-growing threat that was Microsoft and Xbox buying up a bunch of publishers and studios, Sony decided to buy Bungie, the legendary studio that brought you Halo, okay, and Destiny. And I don't know about you, Halo is still, despite the fact that it's fallen off tremendously, still one of my top 5 favorite gaming franchises ever. And Destiny, I literally gave my life to Destiny at one point. Okay, I'll never do that again. But Destiny had a chokehold on my life. Like every day I woke up and Destiny was like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was what it was. Well, now after being owned by Sony for 3 years, Bungie is no more. Now, not no more in the sense that they're shutting the studio down or anything like that, but they might as well be, because one of the contingencies that was put in place when they bought Bungie was that Bungie was going to remain independent. That is no longer the case, and we got to talk about it. Make sure you like the video, nigga, and subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, so we can continue to thrive. Well, we can get back to thriving because we ain't thriving. All right, let's get into it. So Sony, okay, has seen enough. 3 years after acquiring Bungie, Sony says the days of independence are getting lighter, and its future is to become part of PlayStation Studios. So, why is this? Well, we'll get into the article first, and then we'll talk about it. When Sony announced its intention to acquire Destiny 2 developer Bungie in January 2022 for an eye-watering $3.6 billion, it said the company would be an independent subsidiary under the direction of the studio's then current management team, and that it would remain a multi-platform studio with the option to self-publish and reach players wherever they choose to play. Destiny 2 seemed like a perpetual money machine after all, and Sony saw no reason to fix what wasn't broken. But fast forward through 3 very rough years for Bungie, and things aren't nearly so rousy. And now it seems that Sony has seen enough. As Sony Chief Financial Officer and Corporate Executive Officer Lin Tao said during the company's recent quarterly earnings call that those days of independence are coming to an end. Quote, at the time of the acquisition, we were offering a very independent environment, so that was the way of thinking, Tao said in response to a question from about Bungie's future governance. However, thereafter, we have gone through a structural reform, as we announced last year, so from this type of independence, this independence is getting lighter, okay? So let's talk about it, right? What has gone awry? What has gone awry with Bungie, okay? Well, for one, Destiny has not been the heavy hitter that you thought it. Destiny 2 is some garbage, trash, buns, cheeks. Never liked it, never will, okay? I love Destiny, but when they announced Destiny 2, I'm looking and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is DLC. So I never bought it. And people have tried to get me to get back into it. I said, nah, I'm good. I'm straight. I'm done. I'm good. I don't need it. I don't want it. Okay? So it's been falling off. The player base. Matter of fact, let's go look at the Destiny player base. Let's see what Destiny is looking like these days. Destiny 2 Steam DB. Let's see. And this is actually pretty respectable for a game that's been out as long as it has. 50,000 players is pretty respectable. So I mean, it's not like they're not dead, but it ain't Call of Duty, and it ain't what it was when it was just Destiny. You feel me? And I'd imagine it's probably a lot more console players playing this thing. But what has went awry? So Destiny hasn't hit. It didn't have the staying power that you thought it was gonna have. And then there's the Marathon controversy. Destiny needs Marathon to be a hit. And they decided to go with an extraction shooter that doesn't look good. The color palette doesn't look good. And then you had the controversy of stealing the art style from the game from a random Twitter artist. You can't make this shit up. You just can't make this stuff up. Where is it? Where's my
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
You can't make it up. So that being said, Bungie has been in trouble, and with all the controversies, you had the lead artist or whatever he was fired, and of course, you got the delaying of Marathon. Because, shit, Marathon was supposed to come out next month, wasn't it? Nope. Not at all. Let's continue reading. How much of a practical impact that will have on Bungie's future is an open question. Sony has already carved out some pieces of Bungie and brought them under the PlayStation umbrella with little visible effect, and I can see it being pressed into more of a live service mercenary role for other Sony studios who need help on that front. Bungie CEO Pete Parsons, the car guy, is still in his position, but that could change as well as once the studio is fully assimilated. Overall, though, it's quite possible that from an outside perspective, Bungie will continue to lumber along more or less as it always has. Sony is basically a PC publisher now, so the likelihood of long waits for PlayStation exclusive windows on Bungie games to expire seems very unlikely. So, I don't agree with that assessment I don't disagree with that assessment that Bungie will probably continue on as usual, though I doubt it, okay? Because independence versus dependence, it's two very different things. When you're independent, you're allowed to make your own decisions. When you're not independent, Sony comes in and like, you don't do a mother flipping thing until I say so. Okay? Because Sony literally looked at it like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We just want to be able to benefit from the things that you're doing, and what we're providing you is financial stability. So you should be able to take more risk. You should be able to try more things without having the burden of wondering, man, do we got to hit these profits? Because remember, Activision owned the Destiny IP. Now Bungie does. And now Sony owns it. So all Sony wanted to do was give you the funds you needed to continue to do your thing with the amazing IPs you have, and then we benefit from that. Because Xbox is buying up everything, and we just want to make sure we don't lose everybody. Part of me thinks that they bought up Bungie so that Xbox didn't buy them. I don't know. Either way, it hasn't gone well. And Sony's whole initiative to put out a bunch of live service garbage is not working. Okay? It ain't working. All right? Stop it. Get some help. Concord, flop. Okay? Helldivers, they're pretty good on that one. But everything else, garbage. Buns, cheeks, let it go. Continue to bring us those single player those single player games. What was that? Oh my God, y'all remember Godfall? Oh, that game. That game. I thought that game was going to be amazing, and it was part of the reason why I bought a PS5. Garbage. Garbage. Another live service game. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. As always, may the grip be with you. I'll talk to you.
Oh, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.